The 7th of September, 1889, Jesus renews his marriage with Luisa. While my soul was exciting itself with ardent yearnings for receiving the grace that Jesus himself wanted to give me, Jesus came back and transported me outside of myself, up to paradise. And there, in the presence of the Most Holy Trinity and of all the celestial court, he renewed the marriage. Jesus put out the ring adorned with 3 precious stones, white, red, and green, and he gave it to the Father, who blessed it and gave it back to the Son again. The Holy Spirit took my right hand, and Jesus placed the ring on my ring finger. Then I was admitted to the kiss of all the 3 divine persons, and each of them blessed me. Who can tell my confusion when I found myself before the Most Holy Trinity? I will just say that as soon as I found myself in their presence, I fell flat to the ground, and I would have remained there if it wasn't for Jesus, who encouraged me to go into their presence. So much was the light, the sanctity of God. I am only saying this, the other things I will leave out, because I remember them confusedly. After this, I remember that a few days passed, and I received communion. I lost consciousness, and I saw present before me the Most Holy Trinity, whom I had seen in heaven. I immediately prostrated myself at their presence. I adored them. I confessed my nothingness. I remember that I felt so plunged within myself that I did not dare to utter a single word, when a voice came from their midst and said, "Do not fear, pluck up courage. We have come to confirm you as our own and to take possession of your heart." While this voice was saying this, I saw that the Most Holy Trinity descended into my heart and took possession of it, and there they formed their dwelling. Who can tell the change that occurred in me? I felt divinized. It was no longer I who lived, but they were living in me. It seemed to me that my body was like a residence, and that the living God was residing in it, because I could feel sensibly their real presence in my interior. I could hear their voice clearly coming from within my interior and resounding at the ears of my body. It happened precisely as when there are people speaking inside a room, and their voices can be heard clearly and distinctly also outside. From that moment on, I no longer had the need to go in search of him somewhere else in order to find him, but I could find him there, inside my heart. And when sometimes he would hide and I would go in search of Jesus, wandering around heaven and earth, searching for my highest and only good, while I would be in the heat of my tears, in the intensity of my yearnings, amid unutterable pains for having lost him, Jesus would come out from within my interior and say to him, "I am here with you. Do not look for me elsewhere." Between the surprise and the contentment at having found him, I would say to him, "My Jesus, how is it? For the entire morning you made me go around and around in order to find you, and you are here. You could at least tell me, so I would not have become so worked up. My sweet good, my dear life, take a look at how tired I am. I feel I have no more strength. I feel faint. Oh, please sustain me in your arms, for I feel I am dying." And so Jesus would take me in his arms and would make me rest, and while resting, I would feel my strength being restored. Other times, in this hiding of Jesus and my going around in search for him, when he would make himself felt inside of me and then come out from within me, I would find not Jesus alone, but all three divine persons, now in the form of three children, gracious and immensely beautiful, now with one single body and three distinct heads, but resembling each other, all three of them attractive. Who can tell my contentment, especially when I would see the three children whom I would hold, all three of them in my arms. I would kiss now one, now another, and receive their kisses. Now one would lean on my shoulder, another on the other shoulder, and another would remain in front of me. And while delighting in them, I would go about looking at them, and to my amazement, from three I would find one. Another amazement for me, when I would be with these three children, was that each one would weigh as much as the three of them together. I would feel as much love for one of these children as for all three of them together. Each one of them attracted me in the same way. In order to speak about these marriages, I had to skip over a few things, for I was following the thread, and now I will tell them. End of the reading.